Recording. Hi guys, Lee Cole here, and I've got Gloria and Don on again. Guys, say hello.
Hi everybody.
Hey everybody.
This is our Saturday afternoon team webinar. And Gloria, I was looking over on YouTube before we got going and looking at the number of people looking at these webinar replays. I know it's a little inconvenient for people just to drop everything and be here on Saturday, but there are a lot of folks looking at these replays. It is really, really cool.
Yeah, there's some serious momentum that's happening, and I just focus on that little, I love that Bill Britt's saying where he showed X amount of people, and then out of that X amount of people, that's really basically how he built his business. And I'm just kind of focusing on, just getting them to that opportunity meeting. That's my job. That's all I got to do. And then sharing how to shop and stuff like that with them.
Let's talk about that saying a little bit, because I think, and I know your numbers might not be entirely accurate. So if it's 134 and it was really 133, that won't matter.
Right.
But let's just talk about those numbers, because you tell every time I talk about, because we are getting momentum. This team is starting to rock, and it's really exciting watching people get with the program.
Yep.
But I think part of that issue is because the three of us as leaders, we're not promising people stuff that's not going to happen. We're telling people really what the vision is.
Yep.
And that you got to front end it with some work, although, frankly, I mean, you and I both run businesses full time. Don does a bunch of other stuff, and we do this part time, and it's working great. But you still have to,
considering,
consistency.
That's right. Considering the amount of time we put into this versus the amount of time we put into our other businesses. So you're right. It is consistency, because we're here no matter what, basically.
Right.
You can fill up a bathtub with a slow, steady drip. It will fill.
That's right.
That's really true.
You have to turn the water on full blast till it's full. If you just drip the water in there, it'll eventually overflow and run down the street. It's just amazing.
And that's what's going to happen. That is exactly what's going to happen with Lyoness. And I'm not saying this to be a cheerleader, but I honestly think this will probably end up being, when it's all said and done, the biggest opportunity I will have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, and going back to what Bill Britt said, he said, he showed it personally to, what was that number, like 1,200 or something like that?
So let's write these numbers down so people can kind of get real comfortable with this. So showed it. And
personally,
So we're going to talk about what that means. So just, showed whatever his tool was back then, or, whether it's a video or a brochure or something. So showed him the opportunity. Okay.
Yep, showed him shared the opportunity with 1,200 people.
Yep.
And then out of the 1,200 people, something like 130 something of them actually took action.
So they signed up.
He signed up.
Okay, so that was really only about 10%.
Yeah, about 10%. And then out of that, 11 of those people made him rich, mega rich. I mean, seriously rich, so it's kind of like
about 1%. In other words,
yeah, about 1%. Yep.
1,200 down to 11 is about 1%.
Yeah, that's about right.
To get rich. Now, last time, I'm not rich, but last time I looked, my daddy used to say that if getting rich was easy, everybody would be rich.
Yep.
Dad was a wise man.
And so
what happens, guy, actually.
What I think happens is where most people, I have my eye on the 1,200 number.
There you go.
I'm just looking at the 1,200. I don't care about the 11 at this point. I don't care about the 130 something. I'm looking at the 1,200. I look at it like my job and my role in this thing is just to share this opportunity personally with 1,200 people. That's all I got to do. Once I've done that, it's over. I'm done. That's all I got to do.
You know, that is
Really.
so brilliant because when you really think about that's more than just a simplification. Because when you really think about that from a psychological point of view, that's the one, of all these numbers here, that's the one you've got control over.
That's the one you got control over, and that's where most people fall down because you give up before you get to that 1200. You only get to 20 or 30 or 100
Right.
or 200 or whatever that number is, and you give up. You let, excuses get in the way. You don't have the
Become
discipline
a
or the
victim.
follow through.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I've just decided,
You know, somebody could say like,
you,
you know, I've got 10 people in and nobody's shopping. I've got 10 people in, nobody's, you know, doing anything.
yeah, exactly.
That's
And
tough.
that, and and it's, you know what? I don't, at that point, I don't care. I could have 100 or 200 people and they're not doing anything. I don't care because I'm focused. And I'm not saying I don't care about them personally, but I'm not going to like try to whip them into shape or something like
Right.
that and go, you guys have to build me some volume or something like that. I just got to just keep showing it. Just smile and keep sharing, just keep driving them to that opportunity meeting. So as long as you have that, so we need to keep having that opportunity meeting till I reach my 1200 number.
Oh, that
So,
webinar is happening every
yeah,
Friday evening come hell or high water. I mean,
yeah, and
that's engraved
personally,
in stone.
And
yeah,
if one of the three of us can't make it, the other two certainly can. So
Surely,
it's going to happen.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
going to happen.
exactly. But here's the thing, though. The thing is that it's if I just focus on the 1200 number, and if we just focus on
Mhm.
that, and then just kind of have that, and I have the attitude no matter what. Now, would I rather be doing something else on a Friday night? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you would too, Lee. You work hard all week. You've got a family. I've got a family. I've got
Oh,
a
yeah.
husband and stuff like that. There is, I don't know how many times I would rather just go out to, dinner with my husband
Mhm.
after a hard week. He's had a hard week. I've had a hard week. And just kind of sit down, Friday and just kind of unwind and stuff like that, date night or whatever.
Mhm.
But I choose not to. And, my husband's supportive of that because I've got my eye on the 1200 number. That's why.
Well, see, this
So,
is, yeah, this
so
is
I'm not
the
going to
thing.
let, anything get in the way of that. It's just
Mhm.
1200.
Because, Gloria, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, you want to be able to make other decisions with your time.
Well, I know that in 3 years from now or 2 years from now, I'm not going to have to wait till Friday to have a date night with my husband, for example. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'll be able to do it on a Monday night, Monday
sure,
afternoon, Monday morning, whatever.
right.
And it won't be just, it won't just be, oh, I have to do it, at this mediocre restaurant or whatever we can
Because he
afford.
won't
You know
have to
what
be
I'm saying?
working either unless he wants to. You
Absolutely.
know,
Yeah, that's right.
you might
Yeah.
choose to just to have fun because work is a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
and you got to do something with your life. And
Yeah, because what we're doing, I mean, with Mike and stuff like that, with all the software and the training and the coaching,
it's
I mean,
enormous
that is
fun.
a lot of fun. It is a blast, and I get a great deal of satisfaction out of that. But to have the choice that,
There you go.
I'm not going to have to do that if I don't want to, and stuff like that. So I think that's what I've just decided. I'm going to focus on the 1200, and that's it. And
Yeah, I mean
just
that.
have faith that it's going to work with the
Well,
1200. I know
this
it will.
also, Don, kind of dovetails with what Dr. Stephanie Nielsen told you in the phone call about the 200 or so.
Mhm.
Right, right.
You know, the
Once
200.
once your downline, also known as your lifeline, hits 200 to 300, it
Mhm.
develops the momentum that we've been calling amongst ourselves the snowball momentum, and you can't stop it. It's just going
Mhm.
to continue.
Well, see, that makes total sense because if you look at this 130 number, if you think on average, now, frankly, most people are going to get in and do nothing. It's just
Mhm.
the nature of the game, okay?
Yeah.
But you think on average, okay, so one person's going to do a ton, a few people are going to do some, and everybody else is going to do nothing. But if you average that all out, and if one person ends up referring just one other person, that 130 turns into a 260, which puts that lifeline right in the 200 to 300 range that Dr. Stephanie Nielsen was talking about.
Mhm. Mm-hmm.
That's when you can just kind of kick back if you want and just say, great, I'm done. I built it. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
grow on its own. But, this phase is over with.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Well, to
And
help
then
Well, how do we
after
get to that phase, Lee?
Did you read
The
the
topic
script?
for today.
Did you read the script?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've never had scripts. I don't even know what a script is. Um, yeah, because like I've said in so many webinars lately, even though I was trying not to, I overcomplicated the whole thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized, and I used my sister-in-law as an example, although she's remarkably slow, but I realized that it all boils down to my sister-in-law. Because really, 130, I'm not saying people have 130 sister-in-laws, but I'm just saying that you probably got a good 20 or 30 people that you know or that you run into who, if you do this consistently in your daily, life, would end up, who wouldn't really, when it was explained to them, signed up for something free that they can save money with, that's not a pain in the neck to use? Who wouldn't do that, right?
Right.
So if you explain it enough to people, you don't have to hound them about it, just present it to them, say, this is cool, I'm doing it, blah, blah, blah. You're going to get a large number of those 130 signed up. And then I'm speaking to not Don and Gloria because we've already talked about this, but those of you who are on the webinar and viewing the webinar in the future, if you want to know how to go from there to even more, that's what we're here to help you with, among everything
Mm-hmm.
else, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, we will tell you how to do stuff, all right? That includes social media, that includes, if you want to know how to totally rock an in-person network meeting, Gloria, I think you know how to do that, right?
A little.
I'm pretty
Kind
sure.
of.
I'm pretty sure following your advice might be the wisest decision a person could make. But so, you can go the rest of the way, but just, starting to get people into the program is really, really easy. And it is just it is so incredibly simple. It's a matter of shopping so that you have a story. Well, you should be
Mm-hmm.
shopping anyway because you save money. On the Friday night webinars, I tell people, what is an interest rate on a certificate of deposit right now?
It was like 1%.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculously low.
Inflation is more, right? CD
Yeah.
interest rates. So, this is instructive. Top CD interest rates, bank rate, and I think that'll be a site we can look at. Okay, so look, there you go, 1.15, 1.2%, 1.1%,
Mm-hmm.
1.05, so 1.1%, 1.1%. So in other words, that's a safe, a very safe way of saving, a very safe way of investing money, right? It's not going to get you anywhere because of inflation, but it's a very safe way of investing money. But the thing is, so let's say you got $1,000 on January the 1st, and you put it in one of those CDs, and on December the 31st you get it out, you've got a whopping 1% more. You got $10. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lee.
Yeah.
Reverse engineer that for people to help them, understand why that CD is not going to take care of their retirement. If someone needs $120,000 a year to live, reverse engineer that the amount of money they're going to have to put into CDs.
Well, part of the issue is the inflation rate. I don't want to get all like an economics class, but current U.S. inflation rates. Let's see if it's got anything interesting here for us. 1.7%. Okay. Mm-hmm. Latest annual inflation rate for the United States is 1.7%. So per year. So let's just write down some easy numbers. So let's say if your CD you're making 1.1% and inflation is 1.7%, that means that your money is worth less on December the 31st. Your $1,000 has less buying power on December the 31st than it had on on January the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Pedaling backwards.
Yeah, specifically it's got 0.7, well, it's got 1.7%. So in other words, in January the 1st money, let's do it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I take $1,000 and I just set it aside on January the 1st. Okay, and forget investing it. Okay, I just put it somewhere. I put it in a drawer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On December the 31st, I open the drawer. I got a thing that looks like $1,000. But guess how much it can buy? It's going to buy 1.7% less, so that's about 2%. It's really going to have the buying power on December the 31st. It's going to have the buying power of what $980 had on January the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you're going backwards just by standing still.
Right. Yep.
And I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons for that and all that stuff in terms of the low interest rates and all that. There's no reason to get into that, but here's the deal. So a CD is looked at as super safe investment. Well, I think Lyoness is super safe too, because when I spend money, I get cash back immediately. In other words, that's kind of like interest, and I get paid immediately.
Yeah.
So it's super safe because the money's in my hands. It's here right now. I don't have to wait for some bank to give it to me at the end of the year, right?
Right.
Or at the end of the month, or whatever the period is, right? So here's the deal. You take $1,000 at the beginning of the year, you take it out of circulation, you can't do anything with it. At the end of the year, you've got, at 1% CD rate, you've got $10 more, but really it works out that your buying power is about $990. In other words, your buying power is less than when you started. However, had you run that money through Lyoness, here's the beauty of this. Had you run that money through Lyoness, okay, instead of taking out of circulation, had you put it in Lyoness and spent it on the normal stuff you're going to spend, groceries, gas, CVS, drugstore, your fixing your toilet at Home Depot, all that stuff that we normally buy. Had you done that, let's talk about what would happen. You would get 2 to 5% back on your money, okay? But you would have got that back. You didn't have to take the $1,000 out. Because, by the way, if your toilet breaks and you got $1,000 in a CD, you can't go use that $1,000. You got to get other money to fix the toilet, right? That's what I'm saying. Or you got to get other money to buy the groceries. So you didn't have to take the money out of circulation, and you made 2 to 5%. So you're making $20 to $50. And this is, as the year goes by, so inflation's not really that big of a deal. So my point is, people need to also think of the line. It's not just some coupon clipping saving money thing. People, which is a good thing to do, but people need to understand what Lyoness is a wealth building tool, and that's just where it starts right there. Right. So it is a good thing. It is a smart thing for you to run as much of your shopping as you can through Lyoness, and you can do it incrementally. You can just start a little bit, get your feet wet, and sort of build it up, right?
Well, I found that, like now for shopping, it was important since, I'm oftentimes really busy, and my husband, bless his heart, does a lot of the shopping and stuff. So now that we kind of went through that process of how to shop, now he can do it on his own.
Right. Yeah,
and
exactly.
He's kind of like he's trained to do it. He knows how to do it.
Right.
And
so I hope he doesn't listen to this webinar.
Notice I'm saying nothing. I got married. I'm 57. I got married when I was 22. I am saying nothing.
You're smart. So now that he knows how to do it, and then it's easy. It's easy, and then he's kind of in that groove. Yeah. So it's almost like it's getting to be automatic for him. It's like, oh, I need gas. I've got to do it. With the Lyoness gift cards or something like that.
Yeah, it does take some getting used to. It does take a little bit of planning, but the thing is, don't beat yourself up and go crazy. Just start. Right. Just start. First thing I did was buy my ticket. By the way, online shopping, you don't have to move the money. You could just pay that from your
debit or something,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, and then you get the cash back and the points and all that stuff. So,
Yep.
uh, so how to get so really how to get that 130 so that you build a lifeline, which is your entire downline of 200, 300, at which point the snowball is really rolling and you can lighten up if you want, or you can just go crazy and just continue. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But in other
Mm-hmm.
words, you've got this thing. You know, it's like pushing a little ball up a hill and you're cresting the hill and you got this giant slope below you. So finally, at around 200 to 300 lifeline, your snowball, your medium-sized snowball, is just cresting the hill, and you don't have to push it anymore. You just sit there and watch it roll and grow.
Yep.
So how to do that? You know, folks, one of the most important things is don't overcomplicate things like Lee does. But just take advantage of the people around you. It is so easy. And with the new app, okay, since the change, since the Lyoness change, and you get this whether you're in, you know, I mean, you get this at any level. With the new phone app, it is ridiculously easy to
Mm-hmm.
sign somebody up. It's just ridiculously easy. So guys, I'm going to give you sort of a little pattern or a script to follow with what generally is in network marketing terms called your warm market. I always thought that was kind of weird, but people you know, people you run across, colleagues at work. So Gloria, let's say that you don't know anything about Lyoness. You and I work for, I don't know, we're talking about banks, but let's say you and I work for a bank. We're a couple of accountants. You know, I walk in, I'm a Lyoness member. We're sitting drinking coffee. The day's about to begin, and I say, Gloria, I just went by the gas station, filled up my car, and saved a few bucks. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to say, well, how did you do that, Lee? And I'm going to say, I did it with this, I'm a member of this company called Lyoness. You ever heard of them? Chances are right now people have not heard of them. No, I hadn't heard of them. Well, Lyoness is this company out of Austria. It works kind of like a credit card. It's not really a credit card. It's a debit card, but it works kind of like that. And when you buy stuff, you get money back.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but when you refer people into it and they buy stuff, you make money on their buying stuff. It's kind of like Sprint's Framley plan. I had to work on saying that word. Framley plan. Because, you know, a lot of people understand that Sprint thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, at that point, people are going to be interested or they're not. They're going to, you know, you need to sort of say, would you like some more information? Or would you like for me to send you something about this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I used to do, and I'm changing because of the new app. What I used to do is I would just get their email, or if I was really wanting to get really pushy, I would get their phone number and text them, because that way I had their phone number in my phone. But I could call them back up. But, you know, you can easily now, if you got that Lyoness app on your phone, which you guys should have on your phone, by the way, you just get in that app, and I did some screenshots on my phone right before the webinar, so I'm going to put this all in a PDF. It's going to take about 3 clicks. You will land on exactly the same screen as you would inside Lyoness when you refer someone, and all you need to do is put in their name, their email address, and a little note to them, and then hit that button that I think says refer a friend, and then that email gets sent. You know, the person sitting there with their phones, you could say, hey, did you get the email? Yeah. So we'll click that, fill it in. It's totally free to join. You're going to start saving money immediately. There are really no strings attached. Get in the system and learn about it, and I'll send you some more information too. See, at least you've got them moved. You got the ball moved that far, you know. And that's not a pushy thing to do. It's you're giving someone you're giving someone the opportunity to, fundamentally, you're giving somebody the opportunity to change their lives financially if they really get in on it. But it's good to go ahead and do that, because some portion of them are going to go ahead and sign up, and you don't have to mess around trying to, you know, get hold of them again and say, well, did you, you know, and all that stuff, which is a pain in the neck. And then, you know, once they sign up, then you can just say, well, cool, let me send you some information, or let's get on the phone and I'll teach you how to shop. If you want to refer people to it, well, let me show you how to refer people. You can do a join me or something like that. and just make it really, really easy. And every now and then you're going to get somebody who says, well, this is cool. I can make money doing this. Right. Yeah, you can. You're going to understand that some of those people are going to want to go big, and then you can you help them go big. Bring them to us. Say, I just referred so-and-so. So-and-so is seriously interested in going big. Like Don, one of our team members you were talking to earlier, she's going to go big.
She's
right?
going to go big.
I think she's going to go huge. I think I'm just going to just kick back and watch. But
no, you aren't.
No, I know that. I just said that. But
you're gonna.
I don't kick back too well.
I know you don't. I'm just teasing, but you know, you're going to be there as her mentor, and she's going to learn from your example. And before long,
oh, she already is.
She won't need you.
No, I know that. And that's a beautiful thing.
It is.
That's a beautiful thing because I'm watching what she's doing. I mean, not like spying, but I mean, I'm on social media and I'm seeing it and I'm thinking, wow, she's fast. You know, she's picking it up, man. She's figuring this out. She's going with it. This is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, but see, it's that easy. You know, it is that easy to start a conversation with somebody. But where does it start? It starts with you shopping. Otherwise, you don't have a story to share.
That's right.
You know, it's really difficult to sell something, and this is selling. It's baby selling, but it is selling. You are getting someone to do something that they weren't going to do when they woke up in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty easy selling. But it is really difficult to sell something that you are not sold on yourself.
That's true.
I mean, there are very few people that can do that. And those people are actually kind of sort of like con artists. I mean, in other words, there's a kind of an emotional issue there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you get in and shop and you think, man, this is cool, and you've got a story to share, I don't care if you spent $50 or 20, it really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do that, then you got a story. You got a, hey, I just bought this and look what happened. Oh, how did you do that? What's with this company called Lyoness? You ever heard of them? No. Well, most people haven't because they just got here to the United States 3 years ago. They're from Austria. They're huge. Let me tell you a little bit about them. You know, you can have one of those videos that I put in the members area queued up on your phone, which they're queued up on my phone. You can show them that. Are you interested? It's free to join. No strings attached, no monthly, no nothing. It's just a way to save money. By the way, you can make money referring other people to this. And then you just sign them up right there on the phone. On the phone. You don't have to wait till you get home and go through a bunch of nonsense. Just do it on the freaking phone. So make life simple. That is what that is the subject of today's team webinar. Make life simple. Sign up a bunch of folks. Get that 130 in your directs. That's your first group. You know, your first line. Some of them are going to go big. Some of them are going to do some. Some of them aren't going to do anything. But on average, one person is going to sign up at least one other person. You got your 200 to 300. Your snowball has crested the hill, and you are on your way to, you know, I mean,
retirement.
To lifetime income. I mean, I do not want to be. I'm still reeling from those compliance videos and liking it, but.
Right.
You know, which are
good. This is not a guarantee.
Not a guarantee of anything.
Sure.
But that's what we see. I think let's put it that. That's what the three of us see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's what I'm looking at. 200 to 300. I'm golden. You know, I'll do a lot more than that because I'm having a blast. But 200 to 300 is kind of like, okay, the money thing is solved now. You know, the lifelong money thing. I'm good to go now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
That would be a beautiful place to be.
I just want to stress to everybody that's going to listen to this replay or whatever that, you know, those Friday webinars, the opportunity meetings really where you just kind of explain Lyoness and Lyoness in about 40 minutes. And we're able to get people on there just through using social media. And, you know, if you're listening to this and you're not sure what to do, you have someone, just, you know, get them to that webinar. That's all you got to do. Let the system do the rest, really.
It is the same URL every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it doesn't change. I put it in the Facebook members, in our group. I put it up there every week to remind people it's the same URL. You can copy the URL down. The dates change, the webinar registrants change. Stuff changes in the back end, but as far as our guys are concerned, sending somebody a URL and saying, go here, register for that, go see that. It's all the same every single week. Nothing changes.
That's right. Yeah.
Matter of
For
fact,
sure.
that's one of the first things I do is just change over the webinar so that it's registering people for next week's webinar. I usually do that right after the Friday night webinar is over with.
Right, right. I'm looking at the numbers of people that are in the group now. There's 19 members. When we first started, there was, 4, something like that.
Yeah.
And now it's up to 19. It continues to grow. So in a couple of months, it'll be, 30, 40. And then this time next year, it'll be 100. And then
I was looking on my phone. There's some people. There's some people in our Lifeline who are apparently not in that group. So if somebody's signed somebody up and didn't put them in that group, please put them in the group, or let us know and we'll put them in, because I think you have to be an admin to put them in. But
I had no idea that there were people in our Lifeline that are not in that group.
Well,
wow.
My Lifeline on my phone is now 21.
Okay.
And,
yeah,
and
there are a
if
couple
it's 19
people
in the group, then 21, then there are 2 people who aren't in the group.
Yep.
Wow.
But this is the situation when this number where the 19 members gets to be 200 members, the snowball effect has taken place. You know what I'm saying? 200 for you and then 200 for me. 200 for me because that'll be 200 for you, Lee. So the snowball will have taken effect. You know what I'm saying? So it's over then. I mean, we're not going to shut down the group or anything. But.
No. And look, I mean, they're going to be people. All these webinars are up on YouTube. They're, people can find them and all that stuff and look at them. So somebody's saying, well, I mean, when Lee's done, are we quitting? No, we're not quitting at all.
No.
We're going to be there helping you.
That's right. It's just the snowball effect. Yeah, the snowball effect has taken place, so.
I mean, I'm actively helping Gloria get her 200. Her 2 to 300. Gloria's actively helping other people get their 2 to 300. We're here to help y'all build your business. So if you want to go, and you don't really, this is easy to do, guys. If you don't know what to do, that's fine. You need to get hold of us, and we'll tell you what to do. We'll break it, because we have gone through a whole bunch of stuff. Where we thought it was going to work like this and it didn't work like that, and then we said, well, that would be a little better, and it was a little better, but it wasn't quite it, and then we got it down to where it's actually working really well.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is. You guys are great.
And we can help everybody do that. Yeah,
yep.
Our team rocks. Cool beans. I think we got it.
I think we got it. Were you going to show those screenshots?
I can't. No? They're on my phone. I was going to put them on a PDF.
Gotcha.
Because I wanted them screenshots of actually what's happening on the phone, and I'm going to put them in a little PDF and put them in as a file in the Facebook group so that people can look at them. But that way people can understand how to get to that screen where you fill in somebody's name, their email, give them a little note, refer a friend, and that just shoots it off to their email. So yeah, that'll be in there tomorrow sometime.
Terrific, team. Nicely done.
Yep.
Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it, guys. And
thanks.
See y'all later.
Bye,
Have
guys.
a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye.